take it away for the night session between a couple of debutantes here at the World Series ball. Ole Miss and Texas Tech. Their epic finish to beat Tennessee and set up an epic matchup on ABC Saturday with Texas. Florida and Tennessee will have to win or go home tomorrow. And now the night session with Oregon and UCLA to follow. It's Ole Miss out of the SEC and Texas who and 19. Texas Tech 50-12. Somebody's going to win their first game ever at the World Series. And the Ole Miss starting lineups are first. They are presented by Capital One. Rebels under Jamie Traxel. They are a red-hot team, as we mentioned. Took 2 of 3 in Arkansas. Lexi Brady hit her program record 17th home run in the decisive Super Regional win in Fayetteville. And Jamie Traxel has taken Ole Miss to the World Series for the first time, where they will face Nyjah Kennedy. Back-to-back years, she took Stanford to the Final Four. Now Texas Tech trying to run this bottom half of the bracket, which does not have any of the top 8 seeds. They've got maybe the top pitcher in the game and a team that's very hot. And she's been maybe the top pitcher since she was a freshman. Her consistency is unmatched. She'll go side to side with her curveball and screwball. We've seen that. But her rise and her changeup, these are her bread and butter pitches. She will ramp it up to 70 miles an hour with her rise ball, drop it down to 58 with her changeup. Those 2 pitches are unhittable at times. And when she is on, you will see a ton of swings and misses and a lot of chases out of the zone with her rise ball that she will throw at about 60% of the time. With apologies to any of our other friends who work in TV, there's no better primetime show than Nyjah at night. And the lights haven't quite dimmed yet here in Oklahoma City. Good to see the rain has passed after a delay that will be a little over an hour. But we are ready to go for the night session and conclude our quadruple header to open the 43rd World Series. And the first pitch of this game, typical Nyjah Kennedy. A hot rise ball and a swinging strike on the all-SEC first-teamer Jaden Pone. A 7:15 local start time here in OKC. Pone takes a little too tall in the estimation of home plate umpire Chelsea Clark. Ole Miss picked 14th, finished 11th in the gauntlet that was the SEC. They got a first-teamer in Pone, who looks at strike 2. His first time through the order for Ole Miss facing Nyjah Kennedy will be a lot of information gathering. We've seen Nyjah Kennedy go right at hitters from the get-go. First pitch of the game, she just comes at you. It's Nyjah Kennedy's 9th appearance at the World Series, and she has been dominant from the start. The 3rd highest rate retiring leadoff hitters in Division I, and she's facing a good one. Pone, who's got a .440 on base percentage and has run the count full. Jaden Pone was just the 2nd Ole Miss player ever to be named first team All-SEC. And she fouls away at 3-2. Hey, Kevin, we've seen leadoff hitters go up against Nyjah Kennedy and go 3 strikes, strike out, happens fast, next hitter up. So honestly, this at bat by Jaden Pone, taking some close pitches, fouling off that pitch there. A really good leadoff at bat that we're seeing from Pone. This entire at bat with her screwball as well as her rise. Those 2 pitches can look really similar. She threw her screwball a lot against Florida State last weekend in Super Regionals. Maybe the most that she's thrown it all year. Felt comfortable with that pitch and also battled a blister in Regionals and Super Regionals, hoping that that blister feels a little bit better here. She told us it does feel better, and she said, hey, I have the whole off season coming up fairly soon to get it right. But she's had 5 days of rest since pitching last Friday. Working on Lair Boutte, the first-year Ole Miss Rebel. Ole Miss, like Texas Tech, like a whole bunch of teams throughout the country, bolstered by transfers. Pone's a Longwood transfer. Boutte was at Tennessee and Houston. Aaliyah Binford next up at Baylor. Whole bunch of newcomers that revitalized this program. Ball out. I think a big thing
that we'll pay attention to is these transfers, as well as some tremendous freshmen in this Ole Miss lineup face Kennedy for the first time, is how much in the outside corner is she getting? With Chelsea Clark back behind the plate, sometimes can be a little bit tight on outside pitches to left-handed hitters. A couple of close pitches that haven't gone the way of Nyjah Kennedy yet as she tries to figure out the strike zone early.
Behind Boutte was a .439 on base percentage. And takes it inside, strike 2.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, back-to-back full counts. Perhaps a moral victory for Ole Miss. In the Super Regional round, Nyjah Kennedy's first innings against Florida State lasted 13 and 10 pitches, respectively. She was incredibly efficient.
3 down, striking out the side. Nyjah Kennedy knows that circle. She knows that home plate. She's used to seeing these swings and misses on this field. Kennedy doing it again at OKC.
She's been pretty much a full-time hitter outside of an early season soft tissue injury, and leads this Red Raiders team with 11 home runs. They're going to face Aaliyah Binford, who's been a relief ace in the postseason.
And Binford has a lot of experience, but she has been in that relief role. Kind of a surprise for us to see her get the start, because Brie Lopez has been the consistent starter. But what Aaliyah Binford is going to do is keep the ball down with her drop ball and her changeup. A lot of ground ball outs, a lot of mishits because of that changeup, and she is a competitor in the circle. She bets on herself. She said, I am somebody who is going to get it done. She'll throw that drop ball about 37% of the time, her changeup 33% of the time, and that changeup has the best chase rate. She wants to see those Texas Tech hitters chase that pitch in the dirt.
It's her first start since April 18th. Brie Lopez had started all but one game in the NCAA tournament for Ole Miss, but Texas Tech as a team 40 points higher against lefties. So Jamie Traxel tried to neutralize them with the righty Binford. First pitch grounded to second by Maya Davis, and the freshman Mackenzie Pickens throws her out.
Ole Miss, you love to keep her speed off the base pass. Quick out. Let everybody start to settle in out on defense.
Lineup change here in the World Series. Haley Toney, who was batting 9th throughout the postseason, has moved up to the 2 spot, and she's had a brilliant postseason to get there. Toney is 8 for 16 with a double and 2 homers in the tournament. Has the best numbers of any Texas Tech hitter over this 5-0 start to the NCAA tournament. Swept the regionals, beating Mississippi State twice, swept Florida State and Tallahassee.
Ball.
That's Aaliyah Binford, so much experience at Baylor. In fact, threw a one-hitter against Ole Miss in the postseason last year, her final season. Spin in Oxford, and it will end here in Oklahoma City. And it's a combination battery here of Binford and Lexi Brady, 2 seniors, one who's new to the program, one who's stuck it out her whole career, who have helped lead Ole Miss to the promised land for the first time. Still a 2 to Toney.
Well, and to think too that Ole Miss didn't pick up Aaliyah Binford until in between the fall and spring season. So a mid-year transfer for Binford, who got into the portal late in the fall, or late in the winter, I should say. And she was at Baylor, and I think she is a huge reason in the circle and at the plate for why they are here right now.
Ball.
For the final 5 2/3 innings, and just carved up Arkansas in relief in that Super Regional Game 3, and at the plate 4 home runs. The 3-2, a slow ground ball to Pickens, who aces her first 2 tests.
Well, and when we talked to her yesterday, Aaliyah Binford, she just oozes confidence.
Coming to play for Jamie Traxel, who's the 9th head coach to lead 2 programs to the World Series. The first was Minnesota 6 years ago. And the connection between Binford and Traxel has been a special, and really this whole staff. It is a brand new Ole Miss staff. Binford drills the three-hitter Alexa Langoliers.
Yeah, this pitch just completely slipped out of her hand. You could tell with how she reacted when it hit her. Trying to throw a drop ball, but just did not have the grip on it. You could see Binford did not have the spin, the grip, the release there. Just, that is gonna hurt Langoliers. Oh, I felt that from up here.
This is the second time Alexa Langoliers has been hit by a pitch this year. She is the game's first base runner for Lauren Allred.
Ball.
Big run producer already. Team high 53 knocked in. It's a second team all Big 12 pick. She's got the best on base percentage in the lineup. She's their second best power hitter behind Nigeri Kennedy.
Ball.
Chance to be maybe one of those breakout stars here at the World Series. A sophomore from Texarkana who came over from Louisiana with Jerry Glasgow. Missed most of last year with a torn oblique, but she can just flat out hit. Rips this ball out of play for strike one.
A really mechanically sound swing that Jerry Glasgow talks about her, and she has a beautiful swing, and she was just a pleasure to talk to yesterday about hitting and how Jerry Glasgow has impacted her swing mechanically.
Here is the first year Red Raider head coach. 2-2. Oh, a couple of brilliant plays down the line. And a Texas Tech fan to boot.
They brought their glove. They learned from me. Got to bring your glove to the ballpark, Kev.
Yeah, all around the nation, folks have learned from your cowardice at the SEC tournament a few weeks ago. 2 strikes on Allred. Binford trying to make it through a scoreless first. She'll take time.
Play.
And you have to be really careful with throwing Allred a changeup here. Binford's best pitch, because she hits over 400 against a changeup. So you see the changeups that she's thrown to Allred have been in the dirt. Likely knowing that she's a good changeup hitter, but you still have to show her that pitch. And Allred has been looking for something a little bit more firm. The pitches that she swung at, 68, more of a drop ball.
Glasgow took the timeout there, coming down from third with a little pre-payoff pitch advice. There's one of the game's great characters, Jerry Glasgow. Incredible coach.
Go 0-2 here that are first-time teams, and I felt that being here for the first time, not having experience. It's just a different feeling to come here and play in front of this crowd on that field that you've seen on TV for so long and you've dreamed of playing on.
When did it start to feel comfortable?
So 0-2, never felt comfortable when you go 0-2 because we got beat pretty badly in that second game too. So not until the second year that we made it in that back-to-back year and made a deep run in the championship series.
Well, here's Lexi Brady, who is one of a few players who has been here. Came here as a kid a couple of times to see the show. Batting after a Percy Yamas lineout. Brady fouls one away. Lexi Brady remembers coming here and buying t-shirts and getting stuck on TV, she said, with the Florida Gator mascot. She came here in 2019, the year Minnesota made it, and she ended up being recruited to Minnesota by Jamie Traxel. But Jamie Traxel came to Ole Miss after taking Minnesota to the World Series in 19. Lexi Brady followed her, and now it's come full circle. She and her coach are here together. She leans back on that Nigeri Kennedy changeup and stays alive. And Jamie Traxel has done a magnificent job here. Look, neither Minnesota nor Ole Miss are programs that have a huge amount of success, and she's taken 2 teams from 2 different conferences now here for the first time.
It's just hard to get here. I think that some teams that we've seen make it look really easy, that or a team like Oklahoma or Texas and continually make it here. UCLA, the list is fairly deep with the teams that we see here often, but it's hard to make it here. winning a regional is hard. Some teams make it look easy. Winning a super regional, even tougher. Going up against the same team either 2 times or 3 times in a 3-game series, and you have to have a lot go your way. You have to peak at the right time. And the fact that Jamie Traxel has done it with 2 different teams is very impressive.
Player at Division II St. Cloud State, goes to North Dakota State, Iowa State, Minnesota. Lexi Brady's given her a heck of an at-bat here. She's fouled away 3 2-strike pitches. In fact, Ole Miss has fouled away 6 2-strike pitches already against Nyjah Kennedy. Florida State last week, game 2, fouled off 6 2-strike pitches in the whole game. Ole Miss is now better than through not even 5 full batters.
This is a team that does not get intimidated by much, and they've faced really good pitchers this year. In fact, look at their ERA against Pickens and Rothrock and Kavan, 3 of the pitchers that are here at the Women's College World Series. They've scored a lot of runs off of these teams with them in the circle.
Brady puts a changeup hit play to short. The freshman Tony retires her after a long battle there. 9 pitches to get the out. Well, Nyjah Kennedy is elite. Ole Miss players are telling us, hey, we've seen the best of the best in the SEC. But maybe nobody quite like Nyjah Kennedy, who jumps ahead of the freshman Mackenzie Pickens. Freshman who's had some big-time hits in the postseason for Ole Miss.
And it might sound silly, but those foul balls start to give your team confidence, because you're so used to seeing Nyjah Kennedy get the swing and miss, and you start to have these longer at bats, see more pitches off of her, even make contact when it in way of a foul ball. It gives your team confidence that you're seeing her.
A little pop up to first. Ole Miss may have a little confidence. One thing they don't have, a base runner. Nyjah will bat when we come back. Long time, Taylor, and if 17 hours and 47 minutes sounds long to you, it is. That's ridiculous that he did that. But 2 years ago, when Jerry Glasgow was the head coach at Louisiana, his team went to Washington for Super Regionals. Lafayette to Seattle would be a crazy drive, and he was talked out of it. In fact, the batter right now, Alana Johnson, was on that Washington team, which shut out Louisiana twice as Johnson grounds out of here. And Jerry said, because he didn't drive from Lafayette to Seattle, he had a summer of regret.
And he's the type that will just mull over every detail. What could I have done differently? He just has this deep passion of offense and deep passion to win. And one player that he wanted to help turn into a hitter was Nyjah Kennedy, coming over, making some changes in her swing and adding some power. Seeing her now in the everyday offensive lineup has been a real treat. Saw her in the circle for 2 years only, but now here she is at the World Series, getting a chance for her first AB.
Texas Tech puts Brenly Gonzalez in the designated player spot. It's just a mechanism in the lineup with the flex position to make sure Kennedy can hit. And so that's why Chelsea Clark went over to the dugout, make sure that move is entered into the book. And here is Kennedy.
Ball.
And Ole Miss is going to play her a little differently than some teams we've seen this year.
Yeah, you see Pickens, the second baseman, over more toward up the middle of the field, more toward the shortstop side. So you have 3 defenders on the left side. Persiamas basically playing a up close second base.
Nyjah Kennedy did have a hit the other way in Super Regionals. It was a home run, help out her cause in a 3-0 win, game 1 at Florida State. And Binford's 2-0 gets away from Lexi Brady for ball 3.
I think there was confusion on the pitch call there as Brady was set up inside, and Leah Binford pulled that pitch well across her body. Definitely not on the same page there.
Ball.
It's a 4-pitch walk for Kennedy. There's .454 on base percentage, just got a little higher. One of the reasons Nyjah Kennedy came to Texas Tech is she'll be taken out for a runner. There were a lot of reasons. Obviously, we know about Texas Tech and the commitment they made her the first $1 million collegiate softball athlete. But one of the reasons she came here was the relationship she built with Jerry Glasgow and the way she thought he could teach her to become a better hitter. And Jerry made a promise that Texas Tech would score at least 360 runs. And in fact, Amanda, he gave her a handwritten lineup card to show how they do it.
Yeah, made this entire presentation about hitting to give to her whenever she showed up on her visit. And to the point that they talked so much about hitting, they spent, what, 90 minutes talking about hitting and only 30 minutes talking about pitching with Jerry's daughter, Tara Archibald, who is the pitching coach on the team. And that was one of the big things that sold her to come to Texas Tech was Jerry Glasgow's love of offense and his belief in her that she could become a hitter, as Jerry's 3 daughters were all pitchers who also hit. So he had that familiarity and the understanding of a passion for a pitcher to want to swing the bat as well.
Ball, way out.
The first 2 seasons at Stanford, only 35 at-bats. We didn't get to see her swing the bat in the postseason. This year, 11 homers and 93 at-bats. She would have hit more if not for a soft tip.
So we come out and we have fun and we play freely and we control what we can and submit to what we can't. This team is just amazing and we're doing something that not many teams get to do.
That was Aaliyah Binford Sunday after Ole Miss's Super Regional win at Arkansas, the Game 3 victory. What a jump it's been for Ole Miss this year. 4.5 runs a game up to 6, 43 more extra base hits. They've smashed the previous school record in home runs, which was 49 2 years ago. They're at 67. It's a run that not many people saw coming, except for maybe this Ole Miss team. They had a team meeting after game 1 at Mississippi State. They would go on to beat Mississippi State the last game of the year, played well in the SEC tournament, upsetting Florida, getting to the quarterfinals. Ashton Lansdale takes a strike from Nyjah Kennedy. They go on the road in Arizona, very tough place to play. They go on the road to Arkansas, a really tough place to play, and win both of those series. They're not surprised, as much as everybody else might be, that they're here for the first time.
Yeah, they said we're doubted and everybody has counted us out, but our team didn't care. We kept buying into our goal and we just kept getting better, and that goal kept us together stronger toward the end of the year when we needed to play our best ball.
Fouled away by Lansdale.
And before the regional started, Jamie Traxel actually met with her seniors in Tucson and told them, you don't have to be somebody that you're not. You've already proven you're good enough. You don't have to change. Who you are is...
Well, Jamie Traxel made a bunch of changes this year, including the staff. It's an entirely new staff this year. 3 new assistants, including Aaron Earlywine, who's down at third base right there, the longtime Missouri head coach who made the World Series 3 times there. Nancy Evans, one of the greatest pitchers ever, is their pitching coach. Bobby Buchanan came over from Texas A&M as well. It's a staff that has transformed the way that Ole Miss thinks, the way they teach, the way they play, and Jamie Traxel felt like the timing was right to bring those 3 into this program.
I think both, especially Aaron Earlywine and Nancy Evans, who just have a ton of coaching experience in their career. I think that their fingerprints, Aaron's are all over this offense, Nancy's are all over this pitching staff in terms of their competitiveness and will to win. But getting Aaron Earlywine, a great offensive mind. Look at him. He's trying to scout to pick up anything that he can against Nyjah Kennedy. He is so in tune with the details of the game, scouting teams, scouting pitchers, and communicating with his offense. And there's Nancy Evans, who is a tremendous player at Arizona, coach there as well, won many national championships.
Ball, up.
So one of their 9-hitter, Taylor Malvin. Malvin, the leadoff hitter much of the year in the 9th spot today. Struggled a bit down the stretch, but Jamie Traxel says she's such a great culture kid, exactly what they need.
Woo!
What they need right now is a base runner. They are 0 for 8 against Nyjah Kennedy. Chopped over to third. Bailey Lindemuth, the freshman, completes a perfect 3 for Nyjah Kennedy. It'll be Lindemuth leading off. Then the top of the Texas Tech lineup. Here as a freshman, Oklahoma trying to make it a historic 5th in a row. And again, they and Texas will be off tomorrow. Winners of these 2 games between Tech and Ole Miss, and then Oregon and UCLA will have tomorrow night off. And the losers have to come back here tomorrow for an elimination game. Ducks and the Bruins are the next 2 in line.
Ball.
Texas Tech at the bottom of the order here. Bailey Lindemuth, the freshman. Maya Davis and Haley Toney will follow, with Aaliyah Binford having thrown 2 hitless innings in her World Series debut. To the right side, there's Yamas. 6 groundouts out of the 7 outs recorded.
Yeah, first time through the order, she did a great job of using that down movement with her drop ball and her changeup and feeding her infield a ton of ground balls.
Second time through, here's Davis. Rounded out on the first pitch she saw.
Ball.
Maya Davis has reached base her last 19 games. 85 hits. It's the 11th most in the country. Jerry Glasgow told us I think she may be the best kept secret in college softball.
Really nice swing there too, keeping her feet still and swinging away, something that she's done more here at the end of the year at Texas, or in her first season with Texas Tech, is keep her feet still and hit for some pop, hit for some power. Known for her slapping abilities and short game as well to lay down a bunt, but at the end of the year, Jerry Glasgow was like, look, I don't think we're going to slap as much anymore. I want you to swing away. And felt like in the Sun Belt Conference, she could really dominate with her speed and slapping, but it was just different playing in the Big 12, and the defense is defending her better.
Binford's Baylor team beat Davis's Louisiana team last year at regionals. And you could tie all 3 of these teams together because Aaliyah Binford threw a 1-hitter against Ole Miss in the opener of the regional in Lafayette. Now she's pitching for Ole Miss. Her team beats Jerry Glasgow's Louisiana team to win that regional, and now they get a whole bunch of former Ragin' Cajuns, including their coach. That's just foul. It's still 2-2.
It never ceases to amaze me how small our softball world is. And you know it too, because every time we're calling a game together, I'm like, oh, there's this connection over here, and then there's this connection over here, and I know this person, and go way back. I mean, our softball world is just so small, and you just run up against the same people.
And in the transfer portal world, it just feels like it's shrinking and shrinking even further. 2-2 for Davis. This will be the 6th pitch from Binford.
Ball.
Taken low.
And a better at bat by Maya Davis, who got out on the first pitch of her AB to lead off the game. So seeing some more pitches here, some pretty swings in this at bat, and trying to make Aaliyah Binford bring up that changeup to barrel it up.
Second time through the order, Binford gives up a fly ball to right to Malvin. How do you expect Tech to adjust the second time through?
Well, I think that's a great start to it right there with Maya Davis sitting back on that changeup, barreling it up a little bit more and getting the bottom half of the ball. So the second time through, knowing that Binford's going to be more down, they're going to try to get the bottom half of the ball and create some more line drives through the infield instead of those lazy ground balls.
Ball.
4 in a row retired after the walk for Binford. He threw 5 2/3 to end the Super Regional. Some brilliant hair in the crowd among the Ole Miss fans. Bree Lopez got hit very hard, gave up 4 runs in that game in the inning of the third, and then Binford came in and shut the Razorbacks down. That one nearly hit Jerry Glasgow, whose limbo skills should no longer be in doubt.
Remember, Jerry Glasgow, an athlete in his youth days, he told us, Kevin. I mean, he didn't even have to, all he did was just a little bend out of the way for that one, but he's not intimidated. Jerry Glasgow will not be intimidated by anything.
This is
Yeah, I really like where we're at. They're not shy kids. We have a lot of personality. They're ready to go. Obviously, got to solve the puzzle in the circle here too. Adjusting like kind of the height that we're going after, making sure probably staying above the ball. We're underneath some of those swings, but we're making plays defensively. Aaliyah's giving us good balls, which helps us stay engaged and get into this a little bit. So it's a dogfight right now, but we got to just make sure we're attacking good pitches and working above it.
With Kennedy, what it makes her so challenging, as you mentioned, just the pitches up above?
Yeah, just that she's got some, obviously, her rise ball and can change speeds, but we got to make sure we're kind of have a ceiling for the balls we're going to swing at and just make sure we're above them. I thought we swung at some good pitches in those zone. We're just underneath it a little bit too. So got to solve the puzzle and got to stack a couple things together offensively, and we can do that, put some pressure on and make them make some plays.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Kevin?
Well, Jamie Traxel looking for her team to find that ceiling and be able to swing above the ball. So she started out, Kennedy did, with her screwball, establishing the zone early in the game. And then as this game has gone on, she's been able to elevate her rise ball as these hitters are swinging and missing that pitch and swinging underneath her rise ball. 4 strikeouts for Kennedy in this game.
He's got 9 up and 9 down so far. Struck out all 3 in the first inning. First pitch strikes to 7 of 10 Ole Miss batters, including 2 to Jaden Pone, who takes strike 2. Ninth appearance at the World Series, 7th start for Nyjah Kennedy.
Ball up.
It floats a changeup high.
It's a close pitch, maybe a little bit up in the zone. I think it really fooled Pone out of the hand.
Right back to the circle. 10 in a row for Nyjah. What's different about her, Amanda, from the first time we saw her at the World Series?
I feel like she's not using her rise ball as much as we saw her freshman year and her sophomore year. And we actually asked her a little bit about that, especially her freshman year when she was on a staff at Stanford with a lot of down ball pitchers, that she would go to that rise ball more, knowing that a couple of pitchers alongside her were going to be more down the zone with her drop ball, and Elena Vaughter especially. But utilizing more side to side with that screwball and not having to rely so much on the rise ball chase, and still finding ways to get outs and pitch to contact, not having to throw as many pitches.
101 for Lair Boutte. Her freshman year at Stanford had that great 1-2 punch with Elena Vaughter. You mentioned she was an All-American. Kennedy had that incredible freshman year. She said, now I'm more of a veteran pitcher, but teams know me more, so that changeup can help keep teams off balance. Strike 2 there. Told us every year it gets harder and harder to make the World Series because
her rise ball, she will finish more up, like with her hand above her shoulder. And her screwball, when she throws it, her hand will finish more toward the third base side.
Retired the first 11 batters, jumped ahead of Aaliyah Binford. Swings through strike 2. Boy, it's a violent swing from Binford. Struck out on a 1-2 run.
City, joined now by Jerry Glasgow, head coach at Texas Tech. You're getting a cheers crowd behind you. What have you thought of that?
Well, it's 0-0. I'm glad they're still patient. It's fun. We've had a lot of fun. It's a great environment.
What has stood out about Kennedy early? What's made Kennedy so effective early?
Oh, she's just good. I mean, her rise ball's working good. Obviously got some movement on it, getting a lot of swing and misses, and she's getting ahead in the count.
What would you like to see with your hitters as an adjustment here?
We've got to get the ball in the air. We keep getting our barrels too flat, and we're hitting the top half. We're getting ground balls, which is what she wants. We got to be patient, get a ball, pitch up in the zone, and get our barrels inside the ball, and get some angle and get the ball in the air.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you. Kevin.
Taylor, thank you. Jerry Glasgow, a true delight. He is at the World Series as a head coach for the first time. Talking to Lauren Allred, the on-deck hitter. He's got the heart of the order coming up. He told us he was not worried about Niger's defense, little concerned about his offense after a tougher series at Florida State. They have 5 runs, 2 solo homers, and 3 unearned runs. And so far they've had trouble with Aaliyah Binford. They don't have a hit. Nobody's got a hit. Alexa Langoliers was hit by a pitch. Nyjah Kennedy walked. They are the only base runners for either team through 3.5 innings.
Now we have Kennedy with more upspin and then Binford with more downspin. So both of these coaches asking for different things with their adjustments against the pitchers that they're facing.
Sun is setting on what's turned into a beautiful night here once the rain and lightning passed us by. A bunt by Langoliers that hit her in the box, so it's a foul ball. Vocal call by Chelsea Clark, confirming it is strike 2. Familiar name to perhaps some baseball fans, Langoliers. Alexa, the sister of Shea, A's catcher. And she was a second-team All-Big 12 player this year. Has had a very nice tournament. 6 out of 14, 3 walks, and now hit by a pitch. Chopped over to shortstop. Angelina De Leon throws her out. Another ground ball in the books.
How about the fact that in this game, Kevin, we have 2 pitchers who can hit for themselves. In the Super Regional against Arkansas, Leah Binford was the hitter who got Ole Miss on the board and started that offensive barrage against Arkansas in the Super, and then got to throw the final out, the strikeout. So the first run of the Super Regional was off of her bat via a home run. The final out was out of her hand with a strikeout. I just think that that's so cool. I mean, not in every game that you see in the World Series or across the country do you have 2 pitchers going at it who hit for themselves right in the middle of the order. Remember, Kennedy, too, in the Florida State Super had a home run, one of the solo home runs that you mentioned.
Just haven't had as many of those the last few years here at the World Series. Rachel Garcia with UCLA, notably, a few years back, was the player of the year. Jordy Ball was hoping to get here. Her Nebraska team lost in 3 games to Tennessee. Another National Player of the Year finalist, is a great 2-way player.
Sam Shao, more of a recent one, Oklahoma State.
As a great 2-way player yourself, why aren't there as many of these in the game now?
I think specialization. So many coaches are making these pitchers just focus. Well played by Ole Miss. Johnson was just going on the ground ball from third base and just trying to put pressure on this Ole Miss defense. Jerry Glasgow likes some aggressive base running. That's why we've seen the hit and run. That's why we see Johnson be aggressive to go home, but well executed on defense with the rundown to get Johnson out and keep Kennedy just at first base.
Jerry Glasgow's asked the umpires for here. Clearly she's out. I wonder if Jerry is interested in obstruction.
Yeah. Her front foot is blocking the leading edge of the bag.
We have Christy Cornwell, our rules analyst, on site here. Christy, what do you see in regards to possible obstruction?
Yeah, I think Amanda's correct. The third baseman is blocking that front part of the leading edge before she has possession of the ball, so we should have obstruction on that play.
If that's the case, Christy, it's just Johnson back to third safely and Kennedy at first?
The umpires will have to rule where they think the runner would have gotten had there not been obstruction, so they'll have to place the runner. That'll be up to their judgment.
All right, so that's Christy's take. We appreciate it, Christy, who will be with us all weekend. Jerry Glasgow, he was very confident about this. He told Johnson to stay at third, and he went right over to Marty Abzetian, the third base umpire, to immediately ask for a challenge. There is a review center set up right here in the stadium. That's who's taking a look at it. Looks right up here in the press box. Cameron Ellison's waiting for the official word. This is the first challenge of 2 by Texas Tech. Reminder, when teams get to the 6th inning, even if they're out of challenges, they can ask for a crew chief review. Again, umpire discretion here. Runner placement. Now, Johnson was going back to third, but that'll be the umpire discretion as to where to place her. Kennedy is currently at first after a fielder's choice. What should I have done? And again, the rule is you have to allow that leading edge at the front of the bag. So Jamie Traxel is going to come out to the circle. Johnson does stay at third. It's going to be runners at first and third, 1 out with a run in for Texas Tech here in the 4th. And they'll get a pinch runner in for Nyjah Kennedy, who will get ready to return to the circle.
That's a tough break for Ole Miss, and because the tough part about that is just as a player and as a fan, it just looked like Johnson was going to be out no matter if Lansdale's foot was blocking the leading edge or not. It just seemed to me like she was going to be dead out at third base. But tough situation now for Ole Miss, where they thought that they were going to get that second out. Now they have runners on the corners.
Kylie Huffman is the runner for Kennedy. Now in softball, you're allowed to be substituted out and re-enter once, but because of what Texas Tech does with the lineup and they use the flex position for Brenly Gonzalez, they can move Kennedy in and out of the flex position, so they can take her out for a runner multiple times and not lose her in the circle.
A swinging bunt here, and Brady picks it up so quickly, but she's worried about Johnson from the play before, so she looks her back, just kind of double clutched right there, and just wasn't as quick to first base. Demi Elder, great hustle. You said it. She is a senior leader, and a senior leader is going to hustle down the line even on a mishit ball. And now that is 3 defensive mistakes for Ole Miss in a row, with the ball that got by Pone out in left field, the chance for an out there with Johnson at third base, and then a chance for Elder there at first base. Ole Miss has kind of put themselves in a pickle here now with the bases loaded, and did this to themselves.
And they'll be facing a Texas Tech pinch hitter, Reagan Jennings, who steps in to bat for Victoria Valdez. Pretty nice when you can pull a .395 hitter off the bench. An on-base percentage of .430.
Ball out.
Up and away to Jennings for ball 1. Johnson, the pinch runner, Huffman, and Elder are the runners for Texas Tech. For the sophomore Jennings out of Atascocita, Texas. All Big 12 freshman team a year ago. Started 23 this year, but has largely been a weapon off the bench down the stretch.
It's exactly what they needed. The infield was playing in, and the middles weren't playing back. They wanted this right here, to home, to first, a double play to get out of the inning. And Ole Miss only gave up 1, even finding themselves in that.
B investment, now B games available on MLB Network and MLB.tv. It's a really big deal for the sport, and a wonderful thing to see Major League Baseball and their commissioner Rob Manfred partnering up with Kim Ng, who's the commissioner of the AUSL.
I I was talking to Tony Regans, who's the Chief Baseball Development Officer at the Commissioner's office this afternoon, and he was fired up. This has been in the works for about a year and a half, and he said this is just the beginning. He said, we're so excited about the future of softball, the future of women's sports in general. It's been something that Major League Baseball has really been behind for a while now, but this is the first sign that, okay, things are changing and it's really just the beginning. And guys, I know in softball and baseball, the two sports get talked about a lot in the same sentence, but when I've been in Major League clubhouses as of late, the Major League Baseball players are tuned in to college softball. I was in the Cubs clubhouse over the weekend, and they were demanding that the regionals, super regionals, were on television. So it's awesome that this sport is being recognized in so many different platforms, and this partnership is really just the beginning.
It's great, Taylor. I can confirm they're pretty locked into the Orioles clubhouse as well. And I know those are not the only two clubhouses that are locked into what's going on in the softball world and the softball postseason. Rob Manfred talking to CBS Sunday morning, CBS Mornings today, said there's such a great softball infrastructure that exists. And Major League Baseball thought about maybe a startup, maybe women's baseball, but they felt like the softball infrastructure and the growing popularity in women's sports made this the right time and the right league to partner with. Lexi Brady with a 3-0 swing away. That's a ground out to second. Back-to-back ground outs for Kennedy.
And the first games will be immediately after this on June 7th. So there will be 4 teams in the AUSL. They'll play 24 games, and that June 7th date will start in Chicago and Wichita. I'm thrilled to call some of those first games in Chicago. But they'll be playing all over and being able to show support like MLB. And I know that too a lot. I mean, it just is a broader commitment to growing softball and creating more opportunities for women and girls in sports. And I already saw people tweeting about it. My daughter's playing JUCO, and this is going to be her dream now, to be a professional athlete, to get to play in this league. And that's what it's all about. It starts here today. And what a big announcement on the first day of the Women's College World Series.
Awesome, awesome stuff. So much room for growth in this sport. We see it every year. 1-0 game here on this opening day of the World Series. It's Nyjeri Kennedy. She is not an Athletes Unlimited softball player because scary enough for her opponents. She's only a junior. She's got another year left at this thing. She's thrown a perfect game through 4 2/3. As she misses wide to Mackenzie Pickens for ball 3. Fell behind Brady 3-0 before getting a ground out. It's behind the freshman 3-1. Roars back in there for strike 2.
See, it really, the thing that stands out about Nyjeri Kennedy is that the moment never feels too big for her. It just feels like her level of execution is always next level, whether it's the first game in February or on the biggest stage here at the Women's College World Series, facing a team like OU, facing a first-time team like Ole Miss. It just doesn't matter who she's facing.
And 15 down.
And her first strikeout on her changeup, we haven't seen this a ton. I guarantee in these final innings, she'll be bringing this out a little bit more. Up at the plate, in the circle, in between pitches, talking to her teammates.
She's 5'7", and she told us, I have the mentality that I'm 6'5" and taller than everybody on the mound. And I love what she said at the end of that yesterday. Even if I'm not doing my best, you still have to beat me. That's a tough as nails competitor that Ole Miss got in her final year of college. She's thrown very well. Just 1 unearned run in 4 1/3 as she gets a ground out against Linda Muth, and we go down to Taylor.
But Kevin, don't forget she also has a goofy side, because she likened herself to her dog Loki and said, we both like SpongeBob and we're both picky eaters.
Loki, Aaliyah Binford, and me. 3 people who are 3 creatures who love SpongeBob and are picky eaters. You can all fit in the middle of the Venn diagram. She did say Loki loves watching the games, by the way, or at least he just likes staring at the TV. You be the judge of which one Loki's doing. I think Loki's locked in. I think Loki knows exactly what's going on.
Oh, absolutely. Teammates talking about how she's all gas, no brakes. I think that you can really see that with her swings up at the plate. Just big swings, trying to hit the ball hard somewhere. She goes all out all the time.
The 3rd time through the order against Binford. Maya Davis, who's grounded out to second and flying out to right. One of only 2 outs in the air in the game. 1 strikeout and another 10 on the ground.
Ball.
Down and away for ball 2. Nyjah Kennedy with a perfect game through 5 for Texas Tech. Leah Binford's allowed 3 hits, walked 1, hit 1, only the unearned run. As Davis elevates the ball to left, and Jaden Pone is there. Well, the Women's College World Series finals begin on Wednesday. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Reminder how important it is to win. 36 of the 42 champs have started 2-0. Isn't that right, Finley? Speaking of dogs who are locked in.
Oh my gosh. Isn't Finley Traxel so cute?
That's Jamie Traxel's dog right there?
Yeah, Finley.
Like the bandana as well for Finley. Why not the ribs?
Adorable.
Great question, Finley. Why not the ribs? If you were directing this game, we'd just be 2-boxing Finley the whole time with action. Ground ball up the middle. There's a base hit for Haley Toney, her first of the game. And a 2-out Tech base runner. So Alexa Langoliers will get a 2-out at bat. Remember, the winner of this game gets the winner of our next game between Oregon and UCLA. We are going to try really hard not to say Pac-12 after dark. It's now Big Ten after dark in that one. That game is drawing ever nearer and nearer. So is Nyjah Kennedy. She has faced 15 batters. Not a single one of them has reached base. 1-0 game. Will take her shot.
Ball.
And she'll take ball 1.
Well, you might be wondering, has the pitch calling been any different since Nyjah Kennedy has come over from Stanford to Texas Tech? And looking at her pitch usage from last year to this year, using her rise ball 5% more of the time, her changeup 5% more as well.
Center field, a line shot caught by a diving Davis. The first ball hit out of the infield, and Davis was on the spot to save the perfect game.
Well, they clearly put Grisham in for a reason. This is the best swing, and the first ball hit to the outfield against Nyjah Kennedy, and Maya Davis has the outfield covered the way that she has her entire career. One of the best defenders out in center field, and Nyjah Kennedy thanking her center fielder for making that diving play and getting that great read off the bat. You know, sometimes, Kevin, it's easy to fall asleep on defense when your pitcher is just feeding the infield some soft contact. She's getting some strikeouts, so great job of Maya Davis staying engaged and making that play in a 1-run game.
One of the country's most dynamic center fielders came up with it, and now Angelina De Leon takes a knee-bending changeup. We've seen 74, we've seen 53 from Kennedy in this game. De Leon fouled out to the catcher Valdez her first time, and she fouls one out of play here.
Talked about to Jerry on coaching Nyjah and how she motivates herself. She creates these ways to motivate herself by thinking, all right, yeah, that kid got, or that player got a hit off of me 2 years ago. Okay, I'm going to shut her down tomorrow. So she keeps a memory. Another good swing here on a curveball by De Leon. She's like, thank you for not throwing me a rise ball or a changeup and giving me this curveball that I can get on playing with on the outside corner, right back up the middle of the field for the first hit of this game for Ole Miss.
There have been a lot of competitive 2-strike swings today for Ole Miss. And finally, De Leon does something with one. A strike to Taylor Malvin now. as Ole Miss doesn't have to worry about being on the wrong side of perfect game history. And now a go-ahead run at the plate. Malvin rips one out of play. And they're going to turn the lineup card over a third time after this. Another 2-strike count for Kennedy. Grisham fell behind 1-2, hit a hard line drive to center. De Leon fell behind 0-2, hit a ground ball single up the middle. The way it's gone for Ole Miss, which has just been unfazed, facing some big-time opponents all year in the SEC. Down the stretch, beating Florida in the SEC tournament, coming back to take Texas down to the wire in the quarterfinals, and then winning on the road at Arizona, the 13 seed, at Arkansas, the 4 seed. This is just an Ole Miss team that does not seem to get flustered by the moment. 8 top 10 wins. Beat Tennessee, who was ranked #1, their first ever win over a #1 team. And here they are trying to take down Nyjah Kennedy. Slapped out of play, still 1-2. Malvin a ground out to third, her first time. 4 for 16 in the tournament. Slaps one to third. It's off the glove of Lindemuth. Malvin is at first, De Leon to second, and here come the Rebels.
Kevin, you mentioned these 2-strike swings, and this is another one by Malvin. And look at this pitch location. This is a 1-2 pitch, supposed to be a screwball. You see where her hand finishes. It bleeds right back over in the middle of the plate, and Malvin is able to barrel it up. That should have been on the outside corner, about 2 balls off and a 1-2 count, a pitcher's count. And instead, it's another hit for Malvin. And Ole Miss is putting together some great ABs and absolutely battling with 2 strikes in this game.
And the Texas Tech pitching coach, Tara Archibald, Jerry Glasgow's daughter, is out to the circle for the first time. So Nyjah Kennedy cuts down the first 16 and then gives up hits to the 8 and 9 hitters. And Ole Miss now has the go-ahead runs on base. And the top of the lineup up for a third time. They got a pinch runner at second for De Leon. That's Ryan Starr. As Pone swings through a rise ball, swords up on strike 1.
That's a pitch that I want to see from her more right now, is to challenge them to lay off of that pitch. She's been a lot down with her screwball down the zone with that curve. Again, a screwball that has a good swing on it. I would continue to challenge these hitters with a rise ball and a changeup. Beat me with my best 2 pitches. Go at them. That changeup, opponent's hitting just 120 off of her changeup, and that rise ball is her best swing and miss pitch. And just went right at her. Back-to-back hits, and then Nyjah Kennedy goes at the leadoff hitter right away. She got her to chase that rise ball, and then that set her up for the rest of the at-bat, where she's guessing herself about where the pitch is going to go, where it's going to end up, what speed is it going to be. Huge strikeout for Nyjah.
Lair Boutte swings and misses at the first pitch. The first true adversity Ole Miss has made Nyjah Kennedy face today. And she responds with a called strike 2 to the dismay of the Ole Miss fans.
I would go to that rise ball right here out of the zone.
She did.
And to me, it needs to be even a little bit higher than that in an 0-2 count. Seeing the one that Pone swung at, seeing some of these swings and misses with that pitch earlier in the game against her rise ball. I would have liked to even seen that 2 or 3 more balls above where she threw it. Very likely that Boutte is going to get a changeup here. See if she's able, or what she's able to do with it.
Claire Boutte, 16 for 34. Runners in scoring position on the year. And she takes ball 1.
It's a great take. Ole Miss fans wanted that, but that's a pitcher's pitch. That's where that 0-2 pitch should be. It's just a great take by Boutte.
So now what do you think?
I'd go to the changeup.
Stars at tying run at second. Malvin behind her at first. Isa Kennedy dealt with a blister the last couple of weekends. Has managed it very well. Right now it's 66 degrees. Tomorrow's going to be only a high of 78. That's about 20 degrees less than the usual high we expect this time of year. We don't mind it. Texas Tech and Ole Miss. Look at this. Courtney and Manny and Danielle, you're not the only ones getting Coes. It's a blanket night in the bleachers. 2-0 Lauren Allred takes ball 3 from Aaliyah Binford. First game at the World Series for both these schools. The winner will get a day off. They can get really cozy tomorrow. Come back Saturday night at 6 local to face the winner of our next game, Oregon and UCLA. I'm sure both coaches are just going to be happy to get the opening day jitters out of here. One's going to be happier than the other. Somebody's going to go home with their first World Series win. Well, Binford's going to lead off the 7th, the heart of the order for Ole Miss. So she would love to keep it at 1-0 against the middle of Texas Tech's order. And a ground ball to second base. The freshman just got it in time, Mackenzie Pickens, for the first out. Our Sunday night baseball matchup this week, Aaron Judge and the Yankees, Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. It is MVP versus MVP. It's a World Series rematch at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, with baseball tonight's Sunday Night Countdown an hour before on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. We're going to find out if Lauren Allred was actually out.
Ruling on the field that the batter runner is out. Texas Tech is challenging that ruling. Previous play is under review.
Texas Tech's second challenge. And they lose it.
Yeah, that's great footwork by Pickens at second base, understanding the timing of the runner, the angle that she took to field that ball, and then making a quick, sharp throw to first base to just barely get Allred.
No harm in it. We're in the portion of the game where you can call for a crew chief review. Texas Tech's going to lose this. So it'll be 1 out for Johnson, and then Nyjah Kennedy will bat for a 3rd time after that.
At the further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. The runner is out. That is Texas Tech's second and final challenge.
Credit to Aaliyah Binford, who has not given up an earned run, has done it differently than Nyjah Kennedy with only the 1 strikeout. And a ground ball producing machine in her first start in over a month. Remember, Binford closed the Super Regional, retiring 14 straight, 16 of the final 17 against Arkansas, but she had not started in the tournament. 5 games, all in relief. Texas Tech hits .355 against lefties, just .315 against righties. That's part of the equation here for Jamie Traxel, and seems like she's made the right choice. 1-1 for Alana Johnson. Is a chopper to shortstop. Another ground out.
Well, and she'll be leading off the inning too. Next time Ole Miss comes to hit in the 7th. And I mean, this is a tight game. With Nyjah Kennedy in the circle, I feel like a 1-run lead can sometimes feel like a multi-run lead because she is so dominant. But when you look up at the score and Ole Miss's power that we've talked about, they have a lot of offensive pop. It just takes one swing to tie this game up if the score holds as it is into the 7th.
Well, one swing could double the lead, and this is a Texas Tech batter who's as capable as any producing that one swing. Kennedy versus Binford. Wicked changeup for strike one.
Yeah, she's just done such a good job of mixing, and I don't think Binford has been perfect with every pitch that she has delivered in this game, but she has just continued to fight and battle and mix speeds and keep these hitters off balance. Again with the changeup.
Nyjah Kennedy a walk in the 2nd, the fielder's choice, ground ball in the 4th. Down 1-2 against Aaliyah Binford. And she powers this ball to center. It was Kennedy versus Binford to end the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Binford versus Kennedy to begin the 7th.
The NCAA Women's College World Series is presented by Capital One.
Aaliyah Binford is first. And Binford takes a mighty hack at a mighty high rise ball.
You have to be really careful here with Binford's power. 4 home runs in the NCAA tournament, but in the month of May, she leads the team with 6 home runs, and then Yamas on deck has hit 4. Clutch hitters and clutch moments. And a nasty pitch that she faced. The changeup to get ahead 0-2.
20-mile-per-hour separation between rise and change today.
3 pitches against the hottest hitter in the Ole Miss lineup, and she gets the strikeout. And Patrick Mahomes watching, loving it, telling his team, come on, finish strong.
Patrick Mahomes, who was the ace salesman at the end of Nyjah Kennedy's recruitment to Texas Tech, called her from vacation, got in touch. They've been able to keep in touch here and there throughout the year. Strike one to Percy Yamas. I know Patrick is one of many, many Texas Tech alums who are watching today with their program on the verge of their first ever World Series win and their first ever World Series game. Strike two fired into the powerful freshman Yamas. Well, Nyjah has powered her way through 2 mighty hitters. Lexi Brady may be the mightiest. The all-time single-season home run leader at Ole Miss. She hit 17 to smash the record coming into Oklahoma City. Strike one with a changeup. What a pitch that's been tonight. The junior from Topeka against the senior from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Brady held up on ball 2.
There's not very many times that Ole Miss hitters have found themselves in a hitter's count like this that Brady does in this 2-1 against Nyjah tonight.
Brady rips and misses, and Ole Miss is down to its final strike. Not since Tennessee's Monica Abbott has a team had a shutout in their Oklahoma City debut, and there have not been many pitchers in this game the last 20 years you could put in the same breath